Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah.
Hey everybody, before this week's show, just want to deliver a quick message from this month's sponsor, Cryptomotors. On July 29th, Cryptomotors, the world's first digital automaker powered by the Ethereum network, will launch the Gen 1 Neon Roadster drop, which includes 150 unique NFT production series cars with 5 original striking colors. The last launch sold out in minutes, so make sure you are quick to secure a Neon Roadster of your own. They will be available for purchase on OpenSea and distributed in 3 batches. Batch number 1 launches July 29th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Batch number 2 launches the next day on July 30th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And batch number 3 launches July 31st at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout for ultra-rare hidden units that are virtual racer Neon Roadster models featuring a unique design, color, and other trait attributes. More details about the drop, available units, hidden units, and colors can also be found on Cryptomotors' Medium page. And you can also follow the drop and join the Cryptomotors community via Discord. Look out for those links in the show notes, and please enjoy today's episode.
Okay, Frankynines, welcome to the Matthew Rizzle show.
Yo.
Yeah, a super special episode. Franky got COVID, but his persevering was like, yo, fuck it. I'm just going to hop on this podcast, bust it out.
Yeah.
Eternally thankful for that. So let's not waste any time. I would really love to hear a little bit more about your kind of history, how you found your way to the NFT space, crypto in general, and then take us from there to your latest and greatest with Sup Ducks.
Oh, snaps. Well, thank you. Thanks for connecting. I know, Rizzle, I've been meaning to jump on one of your podcasts here for a minute. It's been a while.
Yeah, man.
I think, let's see, NFT space. Well, I mean, I've been in it for a minute, if you guys know.
Yeah.
I started out, let's see, I've always been in like the tech art and gaming industry, entertainment. I built apps for a while back in college. Like after I went to school, I worked at Zynga. I worked in the gaming industry. And so in 2017, I got into blockchain. I started working for this wallet company. And then I've always been an artist, but I was in London and I saw the first CryptoKitty like come on the network, and I was like trying to figure out how to buy it. I was like trying to buy ETH, and I was like trying to transfer my ETH, and the network was crashing, and everybody was freaking out because the network was clogged up because of this thing called CryptoKitties. And when I saw it, I was like, oh snaps, I know exactly what that is, because like I came from selling digital stickers and yeah, my work at Zynga, and so like it just like the dots all connected. And I like did some research into the company Dapper Labs. I put out a like an email or I think I applied or something. And when I was bouncing around, I was in Europe. I was like I was in Germany. I think I was at ETH Berlin, and I got an email back from Mac, and he was like, yo, I want to interview you. And he interviewed me for a job position. I think I applied for like a product designer position or something like that. And I was at the Soho House in Berlin and like had my interview with Mac, and I was like, yeah, I just left this company in London. I'm going back to the United States. I think what you guys are doing is cool. I have a gaming background. I built a couple companies. I used to build apps, and it was funny because Mac actually had like downloaded one of the apps I built called Yo Shirt, which let you like take pictures and design your own clothes and like print it on like full sublimated t-shirts. And he's like, I was like on the interview with him. He's like, I was walking around the office with my face on my shirt. he's like, you made that app. And I was like, yeah, I did make that app. And so that landed me a gig with Dapper Labs, which I worked for like, let's see, I think I contracted with them for 6 months, and then I became a full-time employee for a year. And then I contracted again with them for 6 months. And so like, yeah, working in the NFT space professionally, kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of like the history roadmap. And then after that, obviously, like, you know, when I got back to the United States, when I was working in the NFT industry with Dapper, I started like any time that I saw a platform that would let artists mint art, I would rush to get on that platform. So like KnownOrigin, you know, like I started putting artwork on KnownOrigin like back, I think that was even before I moved to London. Let's see, I'm mixing up my years, but back in the day. And so I would like publish artwork on there, and then I got on Makers, and I got on Super Rare, and then obviously like Rarible popped up, so I started minting stuff on Rarible, and then yeah, I mean I've kind of like scoped the entire space, if you will.
Yeah, dude, right up until the like generative art projects, which obviously you just dropped and everything. And
yeah,
dude, I'm like fascinated to hear like, you know, just your story behind the project and everything. Obviously, like the profile picture generative project like thing is exploding. And dude, I'm like a sucker, even though I know like most of them are pointless. I'm like a sucker for like goofy, funny, like profile picture projects. I don't know. I like got into collecting NFTs for like no reason other than like thinking they were cool. And like a lot of these fit that bill, including yours, man. So, and I was like, you know, I've seen a lot of them come and go, as we all have, man. And I feel like you've, you know, taken a slightly different route in the sense that like, most people don't have their real name behind a lot of these projects, or like sort of drop them anonymously. And a lot of them do very well, but you're different in the sense that you do go way back in this space, man. And, you know, when I saw that you were releasing your own generative project that was sort of like, you know, jumping on the hype cycle and like, I don't want to say like cashing in on like the phenomenon, but like sort of, but like also not in like the easiest, like low hanging fruit way. Like, I feel like you got the skills and like the knowledge of the industry that if you wanted to like do an anonymous cash grab, you could, but this was really interesting to me because you put your name behind it. And like full disclosure for people who are listening to me, like I worked with Franky over at NFT 42. I would have supported his project, even if it was like a shitty low effort cash grab, which I don't think it is, but I have a bunch of ducks. So just so the audience, you know, knows that, you know, I am, you know, full disclosure here or whatever, but you put your name behind it, man. And you have like a lot of credibility within the space. And, you know, just curious to hear your thought process. Like, was that the obvious path forward? Do you like have any regrets at times? Because obviously like some controversy has sprung up that I'm sure would like not have, or would have been like easier to deal with had you just been like, you know, a pseudo anonymous duck or something. So talk to me about all that, man.
Yeah. I mean, Well, so like Sup Ducks, if anyone was around in 2018 when Additional was out, I think even when I was in London, I was sketching Sup Duck. Like I already like Sup Duck was like already a character in my head that I had. Probably even before, I think before I moved to London, and got in the industry, like Sup Duck was just like a character that I had in the back of my head that I would like draw on paper, like on post-it notes and stuff. And then in I think I was at like ETH New York, or I think I was like ETH New York, or it was one of those conferences, and the Additional mobile app was out, and I was like playing around with the app, publishing stuff. And then I just started making like little Sup Duck little pictures and putting them on Additional. And I did it on like this like fresh wallet. I made this like weird like username. I was like, I'm going to make like this secret character. It's like, I'm going to make this like anonymous art character. Like, no one's going to know who it is, even though it's like, I'm going to come out and tell everybody it's me though, like, so like Sup Duck was already around. And, what's funny too is I don't even have the seed phrase to that original wallet. So those original additional NFTs are just floating around the world. I don't know where they are, but like there was some people that already knew about Sup Duck, and it's funny that like I saw like the profile picture stuff popping up, Bored Apes. Obviously, I was like, okay, this is dope. Like I know the technology, I know the system, because obviously, my experience in the industry. And then, we ran experiments like this. We came up with I built like avatar generation stuff. Like I built a little prototype app at Dapper called Davatar, which was kind of fly. It was like a little avatar generator, on mobile iOS. But like, so like I already knew like how the whole system would work. And then it was Strong Wonk, who's the lead mod and the Discord community. He sent me a DM on Twitter and was like, yo, you should make Sup Ducks. You should drop a Sup Duck project. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. Who could build it? And so this is the juice of the story. So he sends me a DM. He's like, yo, like you should bring back Sup Ducks. And I was like, oh shit, Sup Duck. I haven't heard that one in a minute. Like I didn't even know people even really remembered it. And he was like, you should make that. So, we got on Discord and we started chatting. I was like, well, I need to find, do you have anyone that can write the contracts? I've written smart contracts before. I built a couple prototype apps when I was at Dapper that like minted, NFTs from iOS. Like I've minted NFTs from web, like Web3. I've built all that, but I was like, I don't know with the time that I have at NFT 42 right now that I can like actually like pump out a bunch of code and do all this. And so I was like, I need to find some like smart contract developers. And so he linked me with Lewis, who was more of like a generative art developer. And so I got on, I was like, well, we need like an actual smart contract developer. And so I hit up my boy John, who he's just a savage. He's fucking an amazing developer. He had this dApp called Magic JPEG that I found. And, I hit him up. I was like, yo, would you guys be interested in dropping one of these little avatar projects? And he brought in his homie, Dan, who's a super wizard scientist developer. And we just like us four, or us five, I guess, the group, we just like got into a Discord, started chatting every day. And I was like, all right, let me make some quick artwork. And I just started, I drew out some base heads, drew out some lips, did all the base artwork and then sent it to him. And then next thing I know, like on Discord, not even a couple hours after I uploaded some art to GitHub, I started seeing Sup Ducks, like they started generating them and the project just started going. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. Let's go. And then it was kind of like, all right, let's make this happen. And my thoughts on like putting my name behind it and all that stuff is for being an artist in the space, especially in the NFT space, which is fucking political and controversial, and it's so complex. There's so much drama in this like whole industry that like, you know, I'm always very selective about like my drops. Like I haven't been one of those people that just like drops like, you know, I'm dropping a new piece every day on Super Rare and just like spamming out my name. Like I've been like very cautious about my drops, and I price my stuff really high. Like I play it so it's like I almost like manufacture like a specific amount of rarity on like my actual art. And so like with Sup Ducks, I was like, you know what, like no one that I know of has dropped a project like this. I have all the skills for it. I have all the knowledge for it. Like I know how to build the team. I know how to run it. Like I know how to do all of this stuff. So I'm gonna make it happen and see what happens, Captain, you know, type of thing. So I just rolled with it, made it do its thing, and that shit popped and people enjoyed it. People loved it. I mean, like the first couple of days after it dropped, I mean, it's only been like a couple weeks, but like after it dropped, like, man, like I was smiling ear to ear, just cracking up because of all the art people were discovering and like all the weird shit that I put in there. I mean, there's so many Easter eggs in the artwork. There's so many weird little nuanced references to just stupid shit that I was just like, you know, this is different from all of those other avatar projects, because this is like, I actually put some flavor into this, you know, like I put some like, you know, like I put a Jimmy hat in there. Like I put Neff Shades in there. I put Snoop Dukes in there. Like, you know, like, like I put some flavor in there that I don't think any of the other projects would do, you know? So it's got, not only I've been in the industry and I've worked for the companies that made the NFTs, you know, like that set the groundwork. Like I paved with the bricks, but like I put some of that shit in the artwork too. So like after like seeing people discover it was like, that was swag, that to me, like,
Dude, I feel like that is one of the interesting like nuances of the NFT space. And like, you know, in terms of like, you know, people supporting your project, I feel like, you know, a lot of the OGs of the space like made sure to support your project. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that goes on where like, you know, people who have been here since the beginning and have sort of like earned their stripes, like have earned the respect of the space. And not that you're not like super well known, but we've seen like, you know, very high profile people not be able to do nearly what you've done. And I think that is like a credit to your like reputation and like respect within the industry. So dude, you sell through these ducks, dude. And honestly, man, it was like sort of crazy because I'm like, you know, I knew it was coming out. I'm like, all right, I'm in for some ducks, but I'm going to like, you know, not go crazy, and I'm going to, you know, see how it goes. And, you know, I checked it out that night and it seemed like it was doing fine. Like, you know, a couple 1,500 or 2,000 were minted, but I'm like, all right, I got like plenty of time to like see how this plays out, and the number of ducks I get will, you know, depend on how this plays out, type of thing. And then all of a sudden, like shit was like moving fast, and I would imagine that's when things got like really exciting for you. What happened, man? Did you feel like word just got out? Like stuff just started snowballing? Like, you know, obviously a bunch of big collectors decided to get in on this, not in you know, a malicious way. And just what I said, I feel like, you know, people who have been around get their projects supported. But yeah, man, interested to hear like sort of the tale of the, you know, the day that it happened, and also
the duck explosion.
The duck explode, dude. Yes, yes. More duck puns. Yes, the duck explosion. The I don't know. I'm gonna come up with some horribles like the something with like quacking and like controversy or some shit. Yeah. What's the dirt, dude?
Well, I mean, I honestly like I didn't think the project was going to sell out that fast. I mean, obviously it didn't do what like Stoner Cats did. Stoner Cats was out for like 30 minutes and shit crashed and burned, but like it moved really quick. I was actually kind of hoping for like a slow roll. The thing was, you know, because I've been in this space for so long and I know so many people that are connected in the spaces, I just started hitting everybody up. I was like, yo, check this out. You know, so like I hit up my homies, you know, I hit up Dan and I hit up Alex over at OpenSea, and like, like I hit up Jordan from Poopy Cat, and hit up Alan, and I just hit up all the people that I used to work with. I was like, yo, I'm releasing my own little project. And I think even Evan too, like those are the cats that like really like, I think like put the belly, like put the fire under, like really started hyping it up. And I was like, cause it's the type of things where it's like, one, I think I've always had kind of like I have a certain level of respect in the space for not only just my work in pushing the needle forward, but like also just my art and style and aesthetic. And so when I saw like those people like giving me support, I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is cool, like dope. Like I'm like, it's good to see like all the OGs that were like buying my art when I was selling it, 2-3 years ago for 0.001 ETH, like giving me some support. And then sure enough, I mean, it started moving. I mean, I think that night when we dropped it, again, I had COVID the whole time. So I was just, I was like laying in bed, like trying to stay alive. I was like half dead. I'm like watching it, and the gang, the duck crew, they were like holding on. They're like, yo, we're selling them, we're moving them, and we sold 1,000. I was like, oh sweet, cool. The way we built it too is like we had the artwork was all being generated at the mint. So like there was the whole egg situation where we were waiting on the network. We were waiting on IPFS to actually generate and upload the artwork and stuff. And so we were kind of stuck because we were like, yeah, like you buy a duck, but it's got to generate and it's got to choose and it's got to format the art and upload it to IPFS. It's got to do all of that. And so there was like this weird, like little like pause waiting game, which I think even made it crazier because like ducks would be revealed in waves. And as people were seeing that artwork and like some of the super ducks were starting to drop, like the meta duck and like the bubblegum duck and stuff, like people, it kind of like snowballed out of control. It just like popped. And then, yeah, I mean, the next day it was like, yo, we're sold out. I was like, what? And we still have eggs that are still waiting to like IPFS, the network is still trying to figure out how to upload these images and generate them like as they're being minted. It was kind of crazy. It was super dope though.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to that sort of like organic, like, I made a project talking to your friends that have been in the space for a while. And then that natural kind of hype that I saw on Twitter belatedly. Like I came on, it was just like, I was literally like 12 hours late and everything was sold out. And I'm like, what the fuck? And just going through the Twitter feed, but seeing everyone talking about it, saying they scooped it, and then seeing that your name was associated with it, I was like, wow. You really do love to see it when you have these like organic efforts, and it's not this like weird behind the scenes manufactured thing, which I think most people can suss out in the space, because if you've been here more than a minute, like your bullshit detector is usually pretty strong. So that was awesome to see. But then, okay, so you have COVID, you're seeing like this madness take place, sell out, and then the secondary market heats up, and it's like some of these prices are all like it's always mind-blowing to see what people kind of evaluate these
bonkers.
Yeah. Right. So, okay. Like, where are you at that point? And then after that, like I saw you put out a tweet, and it's not like a roadmap tweet like everyone is doing, but it's just like, just talking in real terms and real language. Like, okay, that was a fucking success. And then, okay, we're going to do some other cool shit too. Take us.
Yeah. I mean, the secondary flips that were happening, like I don't know the prices off my head, but like, ducks were being sold for like 20 ETH and like 50 ETH, and there was all kinds of stuff. I was just like, what in the world is going on? I mean, I know so like with me, like when it comes to all these projects, I buy some when they drop, but I'm not really like a secondary market like flipper. Like that's not like my business, So I'm more of like, okay, I like the project, I like the art, like I'll grab one. Like I got a me bit, and like I'm holding my me bit, like I got my Bored Ape, I'm holding my Bored Ape. Like I didn't buy into these projects to try to flip and try to make some dough. Like I buy them because I actually like the art, or I like the project, or I want access to something or whatever. So like the secondary market stuff is, to me, this is a whole nother world, because I know there's like, there's collectors in the space that like, that's their business. Like that's the game they play. And so like seeing those flip for some of those prices, I was just like, what the heck? And I think too, like the meta duck, which was my most favorite probably piece of the project, because it's just like, it's a picture of a duck, you know, it's such a weird inside joke that's just like, I'm fucking with everybody here. Like, I'm just messing with everyone. I'm pulling everybody's tail. But the fact that that was like flipping for that price, I was like, okay, like it's like the banana on the wall at Art Basel, you know, like I was doing like that. That's like my artist wing, you know? And so, yeah, seeing the secondary markets just like pop and move on that was mind blowing. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a trip.
Yeah, and I think the MetaDuck sold for 21 ETH, which is just fucking bonkers.
yeah.
And for anyone that wants to see it, just like go to Twitter, type in MetaDuck, and you'll see that real cute like little duckling kind of looking at you.
It's little duckling. So the MetaDuck originally, I was going to make a real Sup Duck. Like I was gonna like, you know, do the work and like make a Sup Duck, like use a real beak and like warp it to like match and use like real human eyeballs or something like that, you know, like make it like gross, like one of those Ren and Stimpy cartoons. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, it reminded me of this episode from SpongeBob where he's like, I don't know what it is, but he like zooms out and it's just like a sponge and a starfish, but it's like actually a real sponge and a starfish. And I was like, that's so meta. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put a real duck in there. It's like the duck, he tripped a little too hard. He looked in the mirror and he's like, oh shit, I'm a real duck. You know, it's like, that's just one of the ducks. So.
Dude, well, and then talk about like some of the controversy that happened like along the way. I know you had to like sort of fend off some rumors. And someone posted like a long Medium article that, you know, I don't know if they were able to like figure out what was in an egg or something. And so, but then there was like something that was like categorically false. So like, I assume it was because of one of the big sales, like right off the bat, the bubblegum one or something like that. Yeah. So has everything been like debunked, or is like the dust settled at this point, or like, so interested in hearing like what happened. And then also, man, like, you know, obviously there is some sort of like roadmap or like plan or like things behind the scenes, and would love to hear like what you're, you know, sort of cooking up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the whole conspiracy on like watching that on Twitter, like people, I was just like, what? Because I think we were like, people accused us or Twitter users, they like accused us of like paying someone to buy a duck to resell it and stuff. And I was just like, nah. The one thing, the one thing with me is like, I put my fucking name on my face on this bitch, you know? So like, I ain't trying to like, I'm not trying to like fake some growth, you know. I'm not trying to fake success on this project. Like I was like, yo, I made something cool and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Like I'm not like in a rush I'm not trying to like step on anyone's toes or like try to win. Like this isn't like I'm trying to be the biggest PFP project ever. Like I was just like, I want to make something dope and I'm going to be real about it and I'm going to put my name on it. So, you know, like there's no secret behind what I was doing. I was like, you know, so like the whole like drama and like the FUD that was being spread in the very early, like, yeah, we didn't have a roadmap. Well, the reason we didn't have a roadmap is because one, all the roadmaps that I see on these projects are like roadmaps they're like, when we sell 25%, we're going to have a pizza party. When we sell 50%, we're going to do this. When we sell, it feels like a marketing tactic versus me. I'm like, well, I don't want to like promise a bunch of shit that I'm not going to do. I'm going to launch this and then see what opportunities open up, and then I'll build my roadmap. And then I'll start doing the real dope shit. You know, once the artwork is out there in the world, then I'll start making it happen, you know, because like, you know, like I'm working on the iOS app. Like, I've always wanted for like the last 20 years to make a cartoon, and like I've connected with enough people now to where I'm like, yo, and even with just like with the money that we generated off of it, I'm like, yo, I'm going to reinvest this. I'm going to get a pilot filmed. Like I want to make like an actual cartoon when I get back into LA. So like those types of things where I'm like, yeah, I want to push this IP forward. I want to like build some cool tech. I want to do some like really cool shit that like I know how to do, that well, not only that I know that I'm going to do, but like how to do it. Like I already know how to make it all work. So I'm just gonna like, okay, now I just need the time to make it happen. And so putting that roadmap out there, it wasn't like a marketing. It's not like a marketing scheme type of thing, which I feel like some of these projects, like not saying that they're schemes, but like saying that like, okay, after we sell out,
that's all right, man.
No, I mean, it's marketing, right? Like marketing is, like there's always like some kind of like incentive to get people to buy more and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, enjoy the art. I'm going to keep making it. Like if the community's pumped up about this, I'm going to be pumped up about it, and I'm going to keep pushing it, and I'm going to keep building stuff, and I'm going to keep moving it forward. And like, you guys want me to explode this universe? You guys want to go deeper? I'll take you deeper, like here.
Yeah, that experimental approach at first, just kind of like throwing something out there, see if it sticks on the wall, and then going from there in terms of like iterating and coming up with like even doper next level ideas and shit like that. And working with the actual like collector community, like asking them like, yo, what should we do next? In addition to like your own ideas that you have, like with the cartoon and things like that. That is so underrated as an approach. Everyone usually overthinks something, or like you said, like they try to layer on all this marketing and promotion, which like, depending on how it kind of goes out, it can seem really schemy. It can seem really cash grabby. And it's like, they're just doing this because it's like a template at this point, and it lacks that authenticity, that like that vibe that I feel like Sup Ducks had and other projects that are more authentic and just coming from a more creative place, right?
Yeah, like for instance, I jumped on the live stream a couple of days ago and was just like streaming me thinking through the process of what the app is going to look like, and I like had the stream chat up, but I was like live drawing like what the UI screen should look like, and I'm like working with the community and like, okay, where do these ducks live? Where do they do? Like, what are they? Like let's all build this together. To me, that's fun. It's like that's what makes it so much more dope versus like an anonymous project that's gonna have a pizza party after they sell out. I'm like, okay,
pizza party.
I don't know. Like some that are like, yo, once we sell all of our I don't know whatever the next project's gonna be. It's gonna be like cool cactuses. It's like once we sell all our cool cactus, we're gonna have a cactus pizza party. Like, all right. And it's like built by some anonymous like Twitter handle that you have no idea who this person is. Like, okay. Totally. And I'm like, wait,
I'm does sound like a good idea though, man. Not gonna lie.
Oh man, I have
taking notes right now.
If I wanted to go full like anonymous and just start dropping these projects left and right, trust me, I could slay, but I'm not that type of dude.
Dude, talk to me about what it's like to be able to throw together a project like this, kind of work on it, not as like a core main focus, but in addition to what you're doing at NFT 42. Like, what does that feel like as an artist, as a creator, as someone that likes to be involved and has been involved in some of like the biggest, most important projects and companies in the space up into this point?
I mean, it was definitely refreshing, I will say, because like I haven't got my hands dirty in a minute. I think the last project I worked on was VFriends. So I was the lead creative on VFriends, worked closely with Gary V, like designed out his collectible system, did the UI design, worked with the developers on the implementation. I actually even ran some code to build up that site. But like previous to that, I think I worked on Nyan Cat was the project the Nyan Dog drop that we did with Snoop. I did the artwork there. So like, I'm always like, for me, my personal goal is to put out X amount of work per year, because like I said, like I'm not one of those people that's just like pumping out artwork and publishing on Super Rare and Known I'm like, yo, I want to, what's the next big NFT projects? Like before that, when I was working at Dapper, it's like, yeah, I did like the textile warp and the pack designs for NBA Top Shot. Like I worked on Cheese Wizards. I worked on, like I'm always like trying to like keep pushing out artwork. And so, yeah, I think with this project it was just like okay, finally I got it out of my system. Now I can like kick back and like slowly build some cool shit, and then and then I'll do another one, and I'll get involved in another projects.
Is this like in terms of like the scope of the project and Sup Ducks and everything, is this one of like the like broader personal projects that you've like launched within the space, or is there anything that, I mean, clearly you've had your hand in like most of like the major projects that have happened in the space,
basically
or at least
all of basically
yeah,
all
man.
the big projects, yeah.
But in terms of like your personal stuff, like, is there anything? Have most of your other personal releases been like 1-out-of-1s or individual art drops, or is there anything else that's out there?
I mean, I've done some like NFT drops. Like the last thing I was working on was my Skulls project, right? Which is Skulls project I'm going to pick back up because I think that one for me personally as an artist is really, really important. And that was like, I released Skulls across every platform that I was on, which was for me as an artist in the space was just a big flex. I was like, yo, I'm on KnownOrigin, I'm on Makers, I'm on Super Rare, I'm on Foundation, I'm on Zora, like what up? So like I dropped like those skull pieces, which are like access tokens and kind of sit as like my advisory board members of like who I trust in the space, like whoever owns Skulls, like who I look to like give, ask for advice. And like, so like, that was like a big project I did, or a big drop that I did. And, before that I was like, I did my Makers Place drop in fall of last year. And when I was in Mexico, and then like I did a Super Rare drop in December. Like, so I've been doing these like more of like seasonal drops, so Sup Ducks was definitely like, aside from it being kind of in the wave of, or in the wave of kind of what's happening in the space, but also like here's an art, like here's me dropping a shit ton of art, like it's like before Bored Apes, everybody was doing all these Nifty Gateway drops, it's like every 3 days there was some big artist doing some big thing, and like I didn't get a chance to get onto that little. I didn't get an invite on that one. So like I never got to do my Nifty Gateway drop. But like I did my drop here on the PFP projects, and like eventually this trend will die out, and then like some other thing will happen, and I'll do another big art stunt. Maybe I'll do like a bunch of physical pieces or some AR pieces or whatever. But I don't know.
As an artist creator, like I feel like artists always have this third eye, like seeing the future before other folks, right? And not just seeing it, but being able to kind of create that. So like after this PFP craze, which may or may not be like winding down, right? No one really knows. And it just takes like another project that's super hyped to get everyone else like fired up again. But as an artist, like where do you think the space could go, or what do you think the next like hype project or hype sector could be within the NFT space? Just shooting the shit.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I mean, that's a good one. I think the profile picture like little trend is good. Obviously there's still artists putting out like, big artworks, there's still drops. There's still like the Sotheby's and the Christie's auctions that are happening, and like the Beeple's still putting out his stuff and or whatever. Like I think like when I look at like where the space is going to like what the next generation of NFTs are, I'm hoping that we see more of like games soon. Though I feel like it's been kind of quiet. I also like I tried not to go too deep into like what's up and coming, because I know like with any technology boom, like I saw this with web and I saw this with mobile, that like after the hype, there's this wave of investment, and there's this wave of building, and then there's this wave of integrations. And like, we just saw OpenSea just close that 100 mil investment. And like, obviously like they're doing stuff. Like, I think that like, if I were to project and foresee in the future of where this stuff is going, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised to see, NFTs inside Facebook or Instagram coming soon, or like, like it wouldn't cross my mind to see that. Now that's different from like the artist space to, the different IP. I think what we just saw like Space Jam NFTs, Obviously like Stoner Cats, like that TV show, NFTs. Like I think like I would imagine the next couple years we start to see like more of the bigger industry platforms start to embrace this technology. If that makes sense.
Dude, and then in terms of like where you see yourself fitting into like the big picture, it seems like someone with your resume within the space, like in pretty much, I mean, on top of like the, your like development skills and everything, you got the artistic side of you to boot. So I would assume you can pretty much like carve your own path forward, either within the industry, NFT 42, Sup Ducks, some combination of like all those things. Like where do you see yourself and where would you like to end up, say like a few years down the line? I mean, is this sort of just, how you like to get down, sort of like bouncing from like dope ass project to dope ass project or like, how would you ideally like to see this all sort of play out?
Well, for me specifically, I mean, I definitely want to get back to a point where I can like focus on building my own stuff and like focus on my own art. Because I think like for me, it's like what legacy do you leave after you leave this planet? Like the excuse me, the thing that like kind of opened my eyes, especially when I got COVID this last couple weeks, is like, I could get wiped off this planet tomorrow. Like I could just do one more cough and that's it. And so I'm like, okay, well, what's my future? Where does my art live as a creative, as a technologist? Like where does my, where does everything that I've built and I've created and I've collaborated on live? And like, with blockchain, it's like, it's immortal. So, I'm starting to think more along those lines of like, okay, well, like in the future of what I'm going to do, what I want to build is like, I want to keep, building my name, obviously, and I want to keep putting out new artwork, but I also want to like kind of build my own environment where I can like have fun and work with the people that I like to work with and work with creatives that like, I could jive with and lend my expertise and teach and lead by example, because I think like, it's like I've done all the hard work that a lot of people don't really need to do if you just listen to what I gotta say. Like I already put in all those hours, through the industry. I mean, like legit, like I worked on Facebook mobile, like Facebook games. I worked on Flash games. I worked on mobile games. I built iOS apps. I've built startups. Like I've done all this stuff. So it's like, don't reinvent the wheel here. Take some games, spread it around, So like, I think, yeah, my future is like, I'm looking to one, build some really, really cool shit. I want to build out the Sup Ducks universe. I want to build out some new tech. I want to kind of like keep exploring and exploding on that. And then I just want to like keep collaborating with dope people, dope artists, and then like, see what happens from there. Like, it's like, do we take this and go into the VR world? Do we move it into like, where's the next part of this space? But, for me as an artist, I'm just going to always be creating shit. But,
if you really think about it from like a high level perspective and what's happening with NFTs and specifically with artists that are using NFTs to like launch their projects and the ones that have crazy success, it's not very different from like the big founders, the serial founders of the Web2 era that launch a project. Maybe they get acquired, maybe they sell it, maybe they go public and just make buku bucks. And then they either become like a big angel investor or they just go and create another even bigger project, right? But it's always usually in the same mold. With artists, like, and especially with you in particular as a technologist as well, there's just so many other areas that you can go and kind of increase the production value and scale and everything like that, that I think is far more interesting over a long-term perspective. So I just want to kind of like flag that.
Yeah, I mean, if I had like a all tall tale of like retirement situation, right, where I was like, okay, my work here is done, like I would honestly probably just dip down to Mexico or Costa Rica and like open up like a little art gallery and just chill and paint. Like like my retirement phase is legit. Like I don't have a MacBook anymore. I just have an iPad and I just like paint because like painting, like physically making art is so much more chill, you know, like deleting your social media and like kicking back and just like being off the bullshit and just like being, you know, in a dope spot with some senoritas is like, that's swag to me. So, you know, that could be me in 4 or 5 years. Sure. Like I'm down for that.
Nice. Yo, dude, I also just wanted to co-sign on what Matt was saying earlier in terms of like your approach, man. I think like, you know, it's something that, you know, Matt and I have done various projects together, and we've always also taken a similar approach where we're sort of leave enough room to pivot and change, you know, your direction and see what works and listen to the community. And that's always like served us very well, and, you know, have nothing but respect for that approach overall. And it was like good pointing that out, Matt. Dude, yo, Franky, man, one of the things we'd love to do with the people who hop on the podcast before they leave is like a super inappropriate shakedown of your crypto wallet, because we like to see what things like outside other people's projects that people are collecting or have collected in the past or are just interested in that has like absolutely nothing to do with what they've got going on now. And I know you've been like in the industry for a very long time. I'm assuming you got some stuff in there. So are there any like highlights or things you've tinkered around with outside of what, you know, you're currently working on yourself that you want to share?
I mean, I got onto Stoner Cats yesterday. I bought 2, and then I went to buy a third one, and it like failed, and it like took my ETH, like $800. It just like burned it.
Oh shit.
And then I had 2, and I was like, all right, well, I'll list one to cover the one that I accidentally burned, and then I like listed it, and it sold out from under me super fast before I was able to like double check how much I sold it for. So I like sold it under floor. So I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm done gambling with this bullshit. But I don't know. I'm on my OpenSea right now. I'm scrolling. I'm like looking. I collect stuff that I think is dope. Like I still have some random things from Foundation that I like, or some art like my friend's art, or if it like I still have one Twerky Pepe. Like I still think Twerky Pepe is like one of the best projects ever. And then, you know, like I have some pieces from makers that I've collected, and then people airdrop me random shit all the time. So like looking through, like, you know, as I scroll down, I'm like, okay, I have a ton of NFTs. Some of the stuff I don't even know what it is, but yeah,
Sounds about right.
yeah.
Like you hang around long enough, you accumulate a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah. I still have one crisscross sneaker that we dropped when I was at Dapper. We made these laser sneakers. These were fresh. Me, Benny, and Arthur, and Ronan. That shit was fly. You never got a laser sneaker. Jimmy got a laser sneaker.
Oh,
so I drew up these laser sneakers, and then whoever bought them, I like actually drew on top of, you could send me a picture, and I drew on top of your picture your sneaker, your virtual sneaker. And like people still own these. It was called Crisscross. Or I'll drop you a link on Discord.
Yeah, dude, make me jealous.
Yeah. Jimmy, that's actually how I think that's my first, how I met Jimmy, was because he bought some of the sneakers. And that was like a little experimental project that we dropped when I was with the boys over there at the Dapper Labs.
Jesus, NFT collecting as networking is so underrated. It's like, see something cool out there, buy it, collect it. Your chance of interacting with that artist or creator goes up so much. And then it's not just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? It's like, yo, that was dope. Like, what else can you do?
Let's start a business together.
Exactly. No, it's, that is so underappreciated.
Yeah, I just sent you a friend's request on Discord, Rizzle. So yeah, I've dropped the OpenSea link for Crisscross on there, so you can check it out. Nice. Yeah, that was. I forgot about this project. That was cool. Yeah, I made a bunch of different like laser sneakers. Like they were like little neon sneakers. And then, oh, whoa, random. Yeah, these are fly. I think Jimmy, I I know Jordan over from Av, or is he at Av? He bought some of these, and so I laced him up. But there was some people, UDP too. He was like, he had some sneakers. Yeah, this project was swag. This was super dope. This is all Benny's crazy ass ideas. Miss that kid. I need to jam back with Benny and Arthur. I miss those guys.
Amazing. Before we head out, too, I want to make sure that folks are following you and can follow you and your projects wherever you're going to be updating them. So shout out your Twitter handles, project handles, any like upcoming dates that you want folks to keep in the top of their mind.
Find me online, Frankynines. I will be at ETH New York or NFT New York and NFT NYC. Nice. What is it? Right?
NFT NYC, yeah.
Yeah, in November. So planning on doing something there. I'm gonna look at, because like I want to do like a little Sup Ducks meetup, and I got my Soho membership reactivated. So I'm gonna look at potentially reaching out to Soho House in Dumbo and renting out, like seeing if I could do like a meetup there and just be like, drop a couple grand and like have like it you could come up and hang for a night of drinks if you got a Sup Duck, and you could come kick it and like, look over the little bay there and see the Brooklyn Bridge, because I love that area. So yeah, NFT NYC, I'll be out there stomping around, ready to see some of the, put face to face with some of the peeps on Twitter, say what's up.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm probably gonna do a whole like swag drop too, because like, yeah, as I mentioned before, I had that apparel company, and so I'm directly connected with them. So like I'm gonna do like I'm gonna drop some swag, like some actual swag, like some shirts, gear, like sweaters. I'm gonna use all the artwork, the colors, all the textures, and all the crazy shit from Sup Ducks. I'm gonna like make some crazy ass gear. Rizzle, I remember we were chatting with them, the manufacturers down there in Orange County. Yeah, so I got reconnected into their stuff. So I'm gonna do like board shorts and towels and all kinds of crazy shit that people can like buy and rock. And I'll probably print a bunch of it and ship it over to New York and give it out, and rock some like bomber jackets, like we in a club, like cool kids club or something.
Yes. And duck puns. I want lots of duck puns. If you need help, I'll help you come up with some.
Sick.
That's awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet up in New York. Everyone, like when we were down in Miami, I feel like everyone was just like, yo, this is a Bitcoin conference. Feels like an NFT conference. Like, what the F is NFT NYC going to be like? Especially for the folks that were there last year, like Rizzle, myself, and the whole other like OG crew.
I know that was the first time I got to meet Rizzle. I was like, yo. I remember I hurt Rizzle's eyes when I designed this logo one time. I was like, yo, Rizzle, I got to actually meet Rizzle. Rizzle is legend. And then I was like, okay. And then I got to meet you too, Matt. I was like, yo, we were chilling at the beach, that hot ass beach. I was melting, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I got sunburned. Like, what the fuck? Why am I standing out here in the sun, hot. Like in the sand? My lips are chapped, and I'm getting sunburned. It's like, damn, this sucks. Everybody was dehydrated as fuck, just standing out in the sun.
Yeah,
Miami.
Yeah, we were. Amazing, man. Well, Franky, man. Again, I just want to thank you for jumping on the podcast, fuck COVID, throwing caution to the wind, and then just taking us through your whole creative journey up into this point. So thank you again, dude, and just keep doing your thing and keep on creating.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll be connecting, and I'll probably see you guys in New York. So we'll keep jamming. Jamming.
I'll be at the duck party.
Hey, yo, if I get Soho House to rent me out Dumbo House for that, it'll be pretty swag. Music's always good. Drinks are always good. There's always babes. So it'll be popping. Word up.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome.
Cool. All right, guys.
Cool.
All right, dude.
Hey, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. Just want to give a quick message from this month's sponsor, Crypto Motors. On July 29th, Crypto Motors, the world's first digital automaker powered by the Ethereum network, will launch the Gen 1 Neon Roadster drop, which includes 150 unique NFT production series cars with 5 original striking colors. The last launch sold out in minutes, so make sure you are quick to secure a neon roadster of your own. They will be available for purchase on OpenSea and distributed in 3 batches. Batch number 1 launches July 29th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Batch number 2 launches the next day on July 30th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and batch number 3 launches July 31st at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout for ultra-rare hidden units that are virtual racer neon roadster models featuring a unique design, color, and other trait attributes. More details about the drop, available units, hidden units, and colors can also be found on Cryptomotors Medium page. And you can also follow the drop and join the Cryptomotors community via Discord. Look out for those links in the show notes, and see everyone next episode.